Chapter 2 Cognitive Neuroscience. Cognitive neuroscience is the field of study linking the brain and other aspects of the nervous system to cognitive processing and ultimately to behavior. Brain is the organ in our bodies that most directly controls our thoughts, emotions, and motivations. Localizations of function refers to specific areas of the brain that control specific skills or behaviors. Cognitions in the brain, the anatomy and mechanisms of the brain, nervous system, is the basis of our ability to perceive, adapt to, and interact with the world around us. Forebrain is the region of the brain located toward the top and front of the brain. This is the structure of the brain. First is pituitary gland, master gland of the endocrine system. Amygdala influences anger and aggression. Basal ganglia plays important role in muscle coordination and movement. Corpus callosum relays information between the two cerebral hemispheres, the left brain and the right brain. Cerebral cortex controls thinking and sensing functions, voluntary movement. Septum influences anger and fear. Hippocampus influences learning and memory. Thalamus relays sensory information to cerebral cortex. Hypothalamus regulates temperature, eating, sleeping, and endocrine system. Midbrain reticular activating system carries messages about sleep and arousal. Pons relays information between cerebral cortex and cerebellum. Cerebellum coordinates fine muscle movement and balance. Medulla regulates heartbeat and breathing. Spinal cord relays nerve impulses between brain and body. Controls simple reflexes. Let's have a recap. Pituitary gland, master gland of the endocrine system. Amygdala influences anger and aggression. Basal ganglia plays important role in muscle coordination and movement. Corpus callosum relays information between the two cerebral hemispheres, the left brain and the right brain. Cerebral cortex controls thinking and sensing functions, voluntary movement. Septum influences anger and fear. Hippocampus influences learning and memory. Thalamus relays sensory information to cerebral cortex. Hypothalamus regulates temperature, eating, sleeping, and endocrine system. Midbrain reticular activating system carries messages about sleep and arousal. Pons relays information between cerebral cortex and cerebellum. Cerebellum coordinates fine muscle movement and balance. Medulla regulates heartbeat and breathing. Spinal cord relays nerve impulses between brain and body, controls simple reflexes. Functional areas of the cortex. Broca's area, or also known for speech, is a region in the frontal lobe of the brain with functions linked to speech production. Association cortex integrate areas of sensory experience and memory in the form of networks that connect areas that are distributed across wide areas of the brain. Motor cortex controls the planning, control, and execution of movement. Sensory cortex receives information from the senses about pressure, texture, temperature, and pain. Auditory cortex processes information received through hearing. Wernicke's area, notable impairment in the understanding of spoken words and sentences. 4 lobes of the brain. First is frontal lobe. Toward the front of the brain is associated with motor processing and higher thought processes. such as abstract reasoning, problem solving, planning, and judgment. Next is parietal lobe. At the upper back portion of the brain is associated with somatosensory processing. It receives inputs from the neurons regarding touch, pain, temperature, sense, and limb position. Temporal lobe. Directly under your temples is associated with auditory processing and comprehending language. Occipital lobe is associated with visual processing. The occipital lobe contains numerous visual areas, each specialized to analyze specific aspects of a scene, including color, motion, and location. Lastly, neurotransmitters: acetylcholine, dopamine, epinephrine, serotonin. Gamma-aminobutyric acid, glutamate, and neuropeptides.
Do you like this video? Subscribe now at iRise Mental Health. If you want digital copy of this lesson for today, kindly visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/iRise Mental Health. Thank you. This is iRise Mental Health, your journey to psychometrician.